payment would be devastating for these households. But President Trump, Elon Musk, and his Muskins won't lose any sleep at night. They won't lose any sleep at night if it means that they can get their billionaire friends that $4.5 trillion in tax breaks. As if billionaires need another tax break. So if you pay even a single cent in income tax in 2024, you still would have paid more than Tesla did last year, despite them reporting $2.3 billion in annual income. Well, I call it Robin Hood in reverse. Stealing from the poor, giving to the rich. Plain and simple, Robin Hood in reverse. And they're stealing from the working and middle class people and giving it to the rich. And so we're already seeing how their greed is hurting the rest of us. And under the direction of Elon Musk's Doge, 7,000 Social Security Administration employees were fired. 7,000. That's 7,000 people who dedicated their careers to making sure that the most vulnerable Americans receive their benefits. Rather than thanking them for their service, Elon Musk showed them the door. And services have suffered since he made that reckless decision. Already we have reports of wait times skyrocketing for Social Security Association recipients trying to speak to somebody at the agency. They're not answering the phone. Their website has had numerous outages since these firings, blocking millions of Americans from accessing their accounts. And this is on top of shutting down dozens of Social Security offices across the country, including 4 here in North Carolina. And so while also implementing a vague anti-fraud check, a system with absolutely no clarity for what that involves. And so this is going to cause people to lose their benefits. So what are our Social Security recipients, our seniors and veterans and disabled people supposed to do now? Well, thanks to Elon Musk, they can't get anybody on the phone to discuss their benefits, and the website frequently crashes when they try to access their accounts. And I'm saying, let's crash the damn website. And if they try to go in person, there's a chance that their local field office is just closed anyway. And so they've left our seniors, our citizens who rely on Social Security with no options, no recourse, nothing but waiting to see if they actually end up getting the money that they spent their entire careers earning. And experts are saying there's a good chance that they might not at some point get their money during this administration. Well, former Commissioner of Social Security Martin O'Malley recently predicted that benefits could be interrupted for the first time in the Social Security Administration history as a result of those damn Doge cuts. And since its inception, 90 years ago, the Social Security Association has never missed a payment benefits at all. And this would be unprecedented and disastrous, and we're not going to let them get away with it. We are not letting them break the Social Security Administration and use that as an excuse to cut Social Security. And we're not going to let them hide behind chains of fraud to avoid paying our retired and disabled workers what they are owed. And we're not going to let them treat the 7 million Americans as a tax write-off for billionaires either. Because Republicans refer to Social Security as an entitlement. And you know what? For once they're right. You're damn right entitled to Social Security. You're entitled to the money that you paid in. You're entitled to the money that you've worked your entire life to receive. It's not their money, it's your money. And you are entitled to this critical program that has been promised to you for more than 90 years. And let me just say that again. You are entitled to Social Security. You've earned it. That's money you've already worked for. Thank you so much. I am so honored to introduce the Mecklenburg County Board Chair, Mark Jarrell, Jarrell for the people, to speak more about the impact that he's seeing from these drastic cuts to our Social Security. Mark?
Thank you, Congresswoman. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Congresswoman just had a mic drop moment, everybody. We got a Congresswoman that's not scared to speak up, not scared to speak out, and we know she'll cut up if she has to. That's right. I'm so honored to be here today. Thank you, Congresswoman. I appreciate this opportunity. Let me just take this opportunity to acknowledge the elected officials that are here today. We have my colleague from the Board of County Commissioners, Commissioner Susan Rodriguez McDowell, District 6 Representative. We also have Malcolm Graham, Charlotte City Council, District 2 in the House. I just want to thank them for being here and standing up. And today, I'm standing before you today to address, obviously, an urgent matter that threatens the very foundation of our social safety net, and that's Social Security. And you all know that in recent discussions, we've seen these proposals that would cut the vital program to fund tax breaks for the wealthiest Americans, including high-profile figures like Elon Musk and his Muskians, as Congresswoman says. They advocate for cryptocurrency, Dogecoin, and the trend is not just concerning, it's immoral. Yes, it is. Social Security is not just a government program. That's right. It's a promise that we made to our seniors. Yes. We made that same promise to our disabled citizens, to those who rely on these benefits just to make ends meet. Talk about it. It's a lifeline for millions of people in North Carolina and in Mecklenburg County. Yes. It provides essential support for food, for housing, for health care. Yes. Cutting Social Security would not only devastate the lives of our seniors, but it would ripple through our communities, forcing hard choices for families and local businesses. Yes. Imagine this. Imagine a senior that is in our community who spent a lifetime working, a lifetime saving, contributing to society, now faced with the prospect of living in poverty just because they want to cut Social Security. So imagine the impact on our local businesses that rely on the spending power of these same individuals. The consequences of these cuts are going to be felt by all of us across the state and in Mecklenburg County. It's going to strain our healthcare system, it's going to increase demand for local charities, and it's going to diminish the quality of life for our most vulnerable citizens. Y'all, we can't let this happen. We can't let this happen. The immorality of prioritizing tax breaks for the wealthy over the well-being of our citizens cannot happen. It's time for us to unite as a community. We've got to send a clear message to our elected officials, everybody in Washington, that Social Security cuts are unacceptable. So I'm urging everyone here, everyone within the sound of my voice, to take action. We need you to reach out to your representatives, attend town hall meetings, and let your voices be heard. We got to advocate for the protection of Social Security, not just for our seniors today, but for future generations who will depend on it. So let's encourage our neighbors to join the cause. We know we're stronger together, and our collective voices can make a difference. In Mecklenburg County and throughout North Carolina, we have the power to protect the values that we hold dear. So let's not stand idly by while the wealthy benefit at the expense of those who built this great state and this great nation. Together, we can ensure that Social Security remains intact, providing the support our seniors deserve and the dignity they've earned. Thank you.
One for the people.
We've got some additional speakers. We have 5 of them. The first up will be Miss Patricia Battle.
That's not really working, so I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll do the best. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to discuss the significance of Social Security in my life. My name is Patricia Battle. I've lived and worked in Charlotte for the past 30 years. I have 3 amazing adult daughters and 3 wonderful grandchildren. I cannot afford for my Social Security to be reduced, late, or restricted in any way. That result will make my life unmanageable, difficult, and devastating. Back in 2021, my husband of 40 years was diagnosed with a very tough cancer. We had to make some decisions about finances. We understood that our pensions alone would not pay the bills. In addition, the unknowns of cancer treatment. Our decision was to apply for early retirement and draw on our Social Security. It was a stabilized, guaranteed income that we worked for and earned. My husband lived for 2 years, then God had another plan. And now, by the grace of God, I continue to draw my Social Security plus spousal benefit. I have worked for over 50 years, having money deducted every single paycheck. I earned my Social Security. And as a tax-paying citizen, I believe that my Social Security would be there for me because I paid into it. America made a promise to its workers that after a lifetime of hard work, they would have the security of a stable retirement. This was the moral promise from America.
Right.
Without Social Security, it would be, quite frankly, impossible to maintain a decent life. I pray that it is more than just saved. It must be protected. This is not a game or a scheme or a budget item. It is a lifeline. And if it is a lifeline for me and millions of other older adults here in Charlotte, in the state of North Carolina, and all across the country, it's so important. Thank you for letting me share my story.
That's right.
Next, we're going to hear from Lowell Faison.
Hope you can all hear me. Am I speaking loud enough? Okay. Louder, okay. I thank the Congresswoman for having me. I just want to make this short. When I think of cuts in Social Security, I don't just think of money. I think of human life. There are thousands of people who will die without Social Security, without health care. We cannot let this happen. Number 47 needs a new address. My wife and I live off of Social Security. If I didn't have Social Security, I wouldn't be here with you having this conversation. But we manage, okay? Any cuts would be devastating. My wife has end-stage renal failure. She has dialysis 3 times a week, okay? Aside from ancillary medical bills, if they were to decrease Social Security, it would be devastating. Social Security is the most successful government program in this nation. It has brought more people from poverty to the middle class than any other program in the history of this country. Join me in getting a new address for number 47. Thank you.
All right. A new address, everybody. Next up will be Heather Holloway.
Is there a microphone or should I just yell? I can yell. All right. So my name is Heather Holloway. I am with the American Federation of Government Employees, Local 3509. We represent Social Security offices. We represent 76 offices and 2,300 employees, including this office. I've worked for Social Security for 15 years. And I'm going to tell you I am very used to politicized attacks on the federal workforce. But this right now, what is happening now is the worst attacks in the nation's history. They have never worked so hard to make us look like the bad guys than they are right now. It is wrong. It is wrong. President Trump has been in office for 85 days. That's right. I know. It seems longer, doesn't it? It seems longer. During that 85 days, Social Security has fallen from a 20-year staffing low to a 50-year staffing low. All the while, we are serving the most amount of beneficiaries in the history of the American government. 69 million people receive benefits each month. And every single day, 10,000 more people apply for benefits. So that number is only going up, y'all. Staff depletions are already causing problems. We have longer wait times. Nobody can get through on the phone. We have slower claims processing. And let me tell y'all about the systems crashes. Doge and Elon Musk, in their infinite wisdom, went in and they cut half of the technology staff who handle our systems. Just last week, and I wasn't even in the office all week, I had to be off on Friday. I saw 5 systems crashes in our office that we had to wait through before we could provide service to you. Wow. Last week, a random message, because of what they tell us was a glitch, went out telling millions of beneficiaries that their benefits had been terminated. It wasn't true, but people called and came into the office. They were panicked. They were upset. And the agency didn't even tell us that it had happened, so we didn't know what was going on at all. We tried to comfort them as much as possible and tell them that their benefits would continue. Unfortunately, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to say that, because with all these crashes, with all these staff depletions, it is entirely likely that the entire system, our agency, will crash. We will not be able to provide service at all. Sorry about that. President Trump and Elon Musk keep saying every time someone asks, we're not going to touch Social Security. We're not going to touch Medicare. We're not going to touch Medicaid. All right, well, let's say that's true. It's not, but let's say that it is true. You can keep a car in pristine condition. If you don't put any gas in the car, it's not going to go. Social Security workers are the gas that makes this agency go. 2025 marks our 90th anniversary. The greatest moral promise this country has made to its citizens is Social Security. And for 90 years, we have not missed one payment. And I fear that very soon we will no longer be able to say that. Americans have worked their entire lives paying into this system with the promise that it will be there when they need it. And we have to work hard to make sure that that promise is fulfilled every day. And we can do that by supporting the federal workers who make sure this agency gets the checks out. That's it. All right. That's right. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Heather. Next up, we'll have Miss Donna Marie Woodson.
Yeah. Thank you. Hope I'm speaking loud enough. Hey, Betty. see friends over there. Yes, my name is Donna Marie Woodson, and I am a beneficiary of Social Security. I am also a 10-year survivor of colon and breast cancer. So trying to cut Social Security benefits is like I'm walking down the street and you just snatched my purse. That's my money. That is my money. And this whole slash and burn, which the people in the Oval in the White House are doing, is all on purpose. They want this country to crumble to the ground and turn it into a hell, essentially, because they don't care about the people. They just care about themselves. Looking in the mirror, oh yeah, I got some money. For real, you know, I'm saying that cruelty is the point of this whole administration. They want to burn everything to the ground. They've already started eliminating black people. We're washed off of the history books, taking down plaques and things. This is a full frontal assault on the American people. And I, for one, am not going to stand for it. And I hope you join me. As I tell my husband all the time, all of them are going to hell. Thank you.
New address.
That's right. Donna Marie Woodson fired up, everybody. Our last speaker before we turn it back over to Congresswoman will be Miss Tanya Dale.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. After coming behind these wonderful speakers, good afternoon. I'm gonna put my military voice in there. And I am a veteran too. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My fellow Americans, God bless you. Thank you, Congresswoman Adams, for inviting me. Thank you to my National Associated Letter Carrier Union, my President Sly Stevens, and I'm with the National Associated Letter Carriers Union, and they asked me to come to speak to you code 545. We all heard and seen what this so-called administration trying to do, and Social Security is our God-given rights. It's what we put in. That's right. What we've been putting in for years. That's right. As a child of 14 years old, when I started working back in New York, and I saw the tax bracket, and I asked the lady, my employer, what is SSA? Okay. And she told me it's Social Security. I said, ain't that for old people? And she said, if you live long enough and work long enough, you receive the benefits later on in life. Okay. Now, I remember years ago when people had to fight just to get Social Security. Yeah. Who remembers the commercials you used to have for these attorneys telling you, we can come help you get your Social Security. Call us. Give us a call. Now, look what happened. Now, look. Years forward now, 2025, now we got to fight just to keep what's ours. Yes. Just to keep what we put in. Yes. Now, they didn't tell me that back in 1978 when I was working, that it's a possibility that you might end up losing your Social Security when you get older. No, nobody even thought of that. This is like a living nightmare. Exactly. This is a living nightmare. Millions and millions of people will fall by the wayside. You cannot imagine the sum of millions of people are relying on one check. This is all they get. It's just one check. That's, right. That's it. That's right. And it's not that much anyway, because we all know we're not getting what we actually put in. Thank you. Okay? Nowhere near that. But that one check is our livelihood. The day to day. Day to day. If this so-called administration, I can't even think about it. Say it. Do it to us. Yeah. Millions of people will suffer. Medicare, Medicaid, all of that. You're going to have to decide whether you want to eat today or eat tomorrow. Right. Should I go to the doctor today? That's right. Or maybe I should do some home remedies tomorrow. That's right. Everything that we work for and we strive for is on the line. Mm-hmm. Everything that is on the line. Mm-hmm. We should fight for it. We should continue to fight for it, because this is ours. This is ours. Nobody gave us this. Nobody gave us this. This is what they told us. This is what we used to get years ago. A letter in the mail. The Social Security used to send us a statement. You remember the statement? And they tell you each year what you put in. Now, if you reach this age, this is how much you're going to get. If you get disabled, this is how much you're going to get. So you had a track record of what you was putting in. So whether it look good or not, you say okay. But to come to this year, 2025, and realize there's a hawk, there's people in this system that want to take it away from us. How dare you? How dare you think you want to take what is ours? And see, one thing about American people, one thing about all of us, when you back us against the wall, you corner us in, we ain't got nothing to do but come out fighting. That's all we got to do. Come out fighting. So I want to leave you with this quote by the late Representative John Lewis. And what he said? Good trouble. Necessary. And I mean necessary trouble. And help redeem the soul of America. Thank you, guys.
Well, let me thank all of our speakers, Ms. Battle, Mr. Faison, Ms. Holloway, Ms. Woodson, and Ms. Dale. Thank you all so much. And I also want to thank the commissioner and thank all of you for coming out today. This impactful testimony proves why President Trump, Elon Musk, and Republicans in Congress need to keep their hands off of our Social Security. And I am committed to protecting this program for each of you. Remember, you are entitled to Social Security, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You are entitled to it, and if you have any issues accessing your Social Security benefits during this pivotal time, or any benefits that you're owed, please reach out to my office because we're here to help wherever we can. And to the 110,000 Social Security recipients, I want you to know that you will always have an ally in me. I want to thank all of the guest speakers and all of the community for coming out. Promises made must be promises kept. And we're not going to stand for it. But let me just add, I need you to contact every single member of the United States Congress, including the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate, both Democrats and Republicans. This is really a Republican proposal. Let me just speak to the power right here. But also, it's important because we have a budget blueprint, and that budget blueprint is not the full budget yet. But Social Security is on this track, and we want to make sure that you're entitled to these benefits because you work for them. They're due you. So they say it's an entitlement. Well, yes, hell yeah, it is. You're entitled to it because you've worked for it. That's right. But let me encourage you to make sure whatever you do, whether you call, whether you tweet, whether you text, whatever it is you do to contact, make sure you do, because healthcare, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, those are not partisan issues. They're not red issues, they're not blue issues, they're red, white, and blue issues because they impact this country. So I want to thank everybody for coming out, and be happy to answer a couple of questions, should there be some, from our, yes ma'am.
Congresswoman, do you think Democrats will be able to get enough Republican support to actually make any changes with the Social Security Administration?
All right, her question was, do I think that Democrats will be able to get enough support from Republicans? Well, let me just tell you, Republican constituents are out here doing the same thing. Why? Because they benefit as well from Social Security. And I believe if my colleagues have any good common sense, that they will protect their constituents, whether they are Democrats or Republicans. Now, I represent almost 700,000 people here in the 12th district. And not all 700,000 voted for me, but I had enough to vote for me to win. but there are Republicans in my district as well. I am pushing to make sure they get their Social Security too, and make sure I get mine as well. But so I really believe, a couple of years ago, there was a vote in the House to eliminate the Department of Education. Yes. Republicans stood with Democrats. Why? Because education, again, it's not a partisan issue, and I think Social Security as well is not a partisan issue. And yes, I believe, because listen, thing about it, if you vote no, if you vote to get rid of Social Security and cut it and all that stuff, you got to go back home and face your people. Yeah. And so they'll have to go back home and face their folks. So. Yes. But I think we'll be able to we've got some like-minded people who understand. You know, they got grandmamas and great-grandmamas and veterans and other people who disabled folks who get those benefits. And I think we're all going to try to preserve them.
Could y'all please say what outlet you're from, please?
Mary Ramsey, the Charlotte Observer. Congresswoman, what specific action would you like congressional Democrats to take to fend off these Republican cuts?
Well, one of the things, all of my colleagues are doing what I'm doing today and what we've been continuing to do, and that is to make sure that we alert the public, inform the public. That's important because we need the public to have our backs and to reach out to members of Congress. Because I have one vote, and we need to make sure that all of the folks who will be voting. That's one thing. The other thing is we've also appealed to the courts. And as you know, many of the EOs that President Trump has out there, executive orders, they're not laws. Executive orders are not laws, and laws are not made at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And so, but the reason that so much of what has happened has been pulled back, think about it, tariffs and so many other things, it's because of the groundswell from the community. And that's what we're asking. That's what my colleagues are asking. Because we are out here working for working people, for middle-class folks, for the least, the lost, and the left behind. Democrats are doing that right now. We're going to continue to do that, but we need the public to stand with us, to make those calls, to bring the damn pressure on the people. Right. Yes. That's really what it's going to take.
Bob McDaniels from WSOC, really big turnout, people really charged up. What does that say?
Well, that says to me that they're concerned about themselves if they are my age or older, and they're concerned about their families, their mothers and fathers and aunties and uncles, their veterans who've worked. So, and I think people see that this is a very serious time. It's a very serious time, and if you look at all of the cuts that this administration has done, my concern about cutting all of these jobs, well, who will deliver the doggone services if you don't have people? So I think that they're setting up a process for us to fail. And the fact that so many people have turned out, people who couldn't get out but want to be here, realize that Social Security is a lifeline, and it is a promise. And promises made should be promises kept. Well, that's what we're working on. Let me just tell you, when good people go to the polls to vote for good people, then good things happen. But when good people don't go to the polls to vote for good people, bad people get elected, and they do awfully bad things to good people. That's what the hell's happening right now. All these bad people who got in, Trump and his cronies and dojies or whatever the hell they're called, they are bad people. They're doing bad things to good people. So we're looking ahead to the midterm. That's really going to be important. And while we can't take the other 2 years or whatever away from the president, we can certainly stop some of what's we think will be going on, and that's what we have to do. Thank you.
Congresswoman, you have a question, right?
Yes.
Couple of them.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions from media?
People come to events like this, you leave with lots of different things, which is what you want. When folks leave today, they leave with only one thing. What's the one thing you want them to walk with?
I want everybody to walk away with the fact that Social Security belongs to you,
Yeah.
and we're not going to allow anyone to take it from us. Not President Trump, not Elon Musk, not any of the Doges, not the Speaker of the House. I've sent letters to him to call down this president, and that he should have the president push back on Musk. So I need for people to understand that we can do something about it. We can do something about it. But we're going to have to stand together. And if you need the addresses and so forth, I've got a list of every single person who serves in the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate, whether they are Democrats or Republicans, and you need to reach out to those folks. If enough people, I can tell you, we record all these calls and things that come in. So when people tell me, well, they're not answering the phone, well, so what? They've got to record the calls. And so I don't want anybody to feel discouraged. If we fight, we continue to fight, if we work together, stay together, support each other, we will be able to maintain our Social Security the way it was set up 90 years ago. That's almost a century. Okay? One more.
On a related note, are you aware of any local impacts in your district from the federal government's decision to end the Building Resilient Infrastructures and Communities, or BRIC program?
Am I aware of?
Any local impacts from the end of the big BRIC program in your district?
Well, I have had some organizations to reach out to say that they have not received the funds that have been allocated to them. We're checking to make sure that, again, the promises made for the money that they should have received, that they will receive. So we do have some situations. We also have some where they've turned it back. In other words, I think, again, when you yell loud enough, you know, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. And so we've had some squeaky wheels. And I need for everybody, if you know something, say something. If you have a particular story, go to my website. We have a form that you don't have to put your name, but we want the stories, because those are the stories that are going to help us as we make the case for the American citizen. Okay? Thank you very much.
That's all the time we have for questions. If you'd like to reach out to the office, we'd be happy to answer questions for you. You can go to adams.house.gov and find all the information you need to contact us there.
All right. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much.